Okay, before we get going into 4-5, couple orders of business. A, you're all a freshman. Do you know where all the schedules are for the entire school? Have they had you do the handbook test yet? Huh. Okay, under the more. No, under high schools. There we go. Under high school, you got schedules. Under schedules, it tells you all the stuff. Particularly, I'll look at the maroon white schedule. Let's talk about what's coming up. Okay. Womp, womp. Can I get bigger? No, not bigger. Okay. By the bright light. Frosh. You catch that? Frosh. Okay. Y'all, we are there. 4-5, probably 4-6. 4-6 second half. 4-7. I hope it doesn't take us longer than that. I hope 4-7 isn't 2 days. 5-1. 5-2. Unfortunately, that puts quiz 2 after grade check.
Oh no.
So that means, okay, my job is not to do anything with your Spartan time. My job is not to get you out of Spartan time. The grade checks are purely for eligibility. That's it. Eligibility, you know where you stand, all that kind of business. So our second quiz is going to show up on the 23rd, which means y'all get your stuff done. About half of you didn't turn in anything in on Thursday. Some of you were gone. Others didn't take the quiz because we've had a boatload of absences recently. If you don't have that quiz in, if you don't have your daily work in by, I would say, probably Spartan time, 16th, next Wednesday. If you don't have your stuff in by then, I have to put in the missings. I told you I don't like putting in missing unless it's been like 3 weeks and you haven't talked to me. Okay? So if we hit that point and you're missing stuff, it goes in as missing, calculates as zeros. That conversation gets real awkward. Okay? Now, the report card that all your parents are going to see before conferences, it's only going to have quiz 1 on it. And that's it. Which, y'all know how that works with averages and weights and everything. Basically, like missing 2 questions on your quiz is your entire grade. That's just the way the averages and weights work. I will do my absolute best because of this to get quiz number 2 graded that Wednesday night. So your semester grade will include that and be up to date and ready to roll for conferences. But I just got to talk about this because the timing is dumb. The timing just is what it is. Okay? So those of you who did not do the quiz stuff, I was out on Friday, much against my will. My wife's allergic to onions. Pretty sure my mom is trying to kill her. She opened a jar of salsa or something, had too much onions in there, wrecked her gut. So I had to stay home on daddy duty on Friday. So anyone who tried to come down on Friday to take care of your missing quizzes, there was a couple of you who were like missing one problem and wanted to finish. I just wasn't here, against my will. Okay, things happen. So for those of you who have a quiz to make up, please, oh please, tomorrow would be a great day to get that done. Theoretically, I'm supposed to be doing ACT test prep with our juniors and seniors tomorrow and Thursday. If I've got enough kids who are coming in and doing tests, I might have them shuffle it off to a different teacher and just make sure that we can get all of you in and get that done. Okay, I want to get your grades updated and all that. So just letting you know where that stands. The timing's just wonky. Okay? So if you did not do your quiz, if you did not turn in your stuff, please, tomorrow, Spartan time, get her done. Otherwise, you need to come talk to me to arrange something because that's going to be your grade for grade checks. Where's my spring athletes? Okay. This is the back half of February. I suppose that'd still be our winter sports. Anyone in wrestling, basketball? Okay. I think even like state 1 acts and that kind of stuff that's eligibility checks. So if you are involved in any activities, you want to make sure that that first week of stuff is done. Okay. So, not a fan of it. It just happens. I hope that people have talked to you in the past about what really matters in terms of your grade. It's all about the semester grade. That's what shows up on transcript. That's what determines if you got to take it again or not. That's what determines your eligibility for the fall when you're a sophomore and you can leave at 2:05 from Spartan time. Okay? So the semester grade is what matters. That's the one that you need to be watching the whole time. Okay? Everyone got your stuff? Yes, the Pop-Tart selection is quite low. God, jeez, you only got like 3 flavors. What's wrong with this? Anarchy. Okay. If I can get that stack of books over there done in a reasonable time today, I'll make another run after school. So beyond that, I'll get the quizzes done as soon as I can, but right now there's no real point in me putting everything in the grade book because half of us haven't done it. Get it done. Spartan time tomorrow is a great time. I would hope if you did not take it on Thursday last week, you can finish by Thursday this week. Yes, sir.
Should we at least keep like our notes to study?
Oh, yes. Remember that in my room, everything, your quizzes, your daily quizzes, your final, open notes, open everything. Boy, those are a good thing to hold on to, particularly that review. The review we did right before the quiz. Y'all, when I make the final, I just take the problems from the review and make another problem just like it. So, I mean, you basically get to tell yourself how to do everything in here. It's just a matter of if you can. So, yes, hold on to them. Also, sometimes, like I wrote down all of the stuff in my gradebook, my physical gradebook. What happens if, I don't know, my 2-year-old domestic terrorist decides to knock over a jar of Kool-Aid onto my backpack and my whole gradebook is destroyed before I'm able to put that into campus? You want to keep that so you got proof, look, I did the thing. Okay?
Homework's to me.
Again, I would say until you see it in the gradebook, until it's in campus, you know it's in campus, hold on to it just to be safe. Even if you take all of your stuff from the semester and just keep it in a folder thrown under your bed until the end of the semester, you're going to learn at some point in life it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And what happens if I'm typing in, like, I don't even look at the keyboard when I'm typing stuff in, I'm looking at my grade book. What happens if fat finger syndrome, you had a 24 on a quiz or on a notes and you had a 27? Your names are back to back in the grade book and I accidentally put a 242 on yours and a 7 on yours. And you threw away all your stuff, right? Like, just, it doesn't cost you anything to hold on to it. At the end of the semester, you have a bigger stack to burn. Okay? So, just do that for me. Everyone got 4 or 5 note packets. I know a couple of us were gone maybe when we got the second packet of notes. The other half that I forgot I didn't print. Everyone's got it? We're good to go? Okay. Function rules. A function rule is kind of a fancy way to say, remember that function machine we kind of talked about? Where you have your input, the rule, and the output. That's a P, I swear. Output. Okay. A function, or any relation, is a rule. It maps input to output. Throw the chicken in, you get chicken nuggets. Okay? That is its purpose. A function rule is, you're telling me what does the machine do? It's the equation. It's the expression part of the equation. You probably remember stuff like y equals, maybe you remember this from middle school. Okay? So the function rule is my output equals, what do you do with x? And it's going to be an expression. Good thing we spent so much time first semester talking about translating words over to mathese. So the first thing that you're going to do with every one of these is you got to define your variables. Remember, you have your independent and your dependent variables. So we got to read the problem, figure out what means what, and state this controls that. This is the input, that is the output. So you can estimate the temperature by counting number of chirps of a snowy tree cricket. Which is true. Anyone get the crickets like in their basement? The closer you get to it, it shuts up and you can never find it. Okay? But if it's like the fall, chirp, chirp, just that slow chirp to it. During the summer, it sounds like you just downed a couple of Red Bulls. Chirp, 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 chirp. It's really annoying. Well, that literally is a function of the temperature. They do it more when it's warmer out. Outdoor temperature is 40 degrees. Ooh, here we go. Temperature is, boy, does that sound familiar. What does is mean? Equals. So I'm just going to start scribbling stuff. Maybe we'll fix it later. Temperature equals about 40 degrees more than. 40 degrees more than. What did the then do? At the end. So if it's more than, I'm going to add 40 onto something. And it says 40 more than 1/4 the number of chirps. I don't know what that is, but I do know 1/4 the number of chirps. Okay. Looks like chips. It's all squished together. So I kind of just wrote as I was reading through the problem, using those key words that we learned first semester. Then tells me something goes at the end. If I see the word is, it's an equal sign, I can turn it into an inequality by having is more than, is less than, is no fewer than. Speaking of pounding Red Bulls, right? Oh, I don't know, what is that? Oh, how dare I, right? It's like the whole Xbox versus PlayStation debate. So, what is a function rule representing it? You tell me, what controls what? Does the temperature control how fast it's chirping? Or does how fast it's chirping control the temperature? Although that would be really funny if you had a cricket just going and it got warmer outside. No. So label that. Your independent is the chirps. Your dependent is going to be the temperature. And I will label them. What variables do you want to use for those? Just X and Y? You could use C and T. You can get Greek on it. Use alpha and epsilon. Okay? You use whatever you want. And then rewrite your temperature is 1/4 your chirps plus 40. Now, if you're really good with this, you might be able to just put the purple chirps temperature thing head straight to white. Great, awesome. What you don't want to do is just have the white part and nothing else. You have to label it, you have to define it. It's not enough to just have variables up there and look, I used X and Y because we always use X and Y. What do they mean? All right, labels matter. So step one is always, you don't need the blue stuff, like the purple stuff is what matters. Label what your independent and dependent variables are. Tell me what X and Y or C and T are. Then, we did an awful lot of this last semester. It was almost like diagramming sentences. Okay, I know it's not the most fun thing in English. Remember the whole like 1 line for subject, 2 lines for predicate, circle your conjunctions, all that kind of business. We did something similar with translating math. It helps some, it doesn't help others. It's just another tool in your bag. Can you turn words into math now that it's a full equation instead of just an expression? Again, look for that linking verb. Is, am, was, were, are. That's your equal sign. Go. Argue it out with your neighbors. What are your 2 things you're talking about? Input and output. Which one controls the other? Okay. Argue it out with your neighbors. Have a discussion. Suppose we've got to do that. That one's here, that one's here, that one's here, that one's here. T, dude, where you at? Asher's out. Ava's here. I saw Thomas. There he is. Killian's here. Gianna. Aiden and Preston, the dynamic duo. 5. Joe. Maddie was in the back. Sophie's here. Cool. Now, when we started talking about this, you remember what we said? 99% of all problems that involve time. Time is what? Independent or dependent? Yes, ma'am. 99% of cases, everything we do depends on time. How much time does it take to earn that money? How much time does it take to fill up a landfill? How much time does it take to walk the dog? Okay? Everything depends on time. It is very, very rare that we are ever going to see a word problem with time where time isn't my independent. M months, and it doesn't give me what to use for my dependent. What depends on months? The amount of garbage you got. What are we going to use? Is it like trucks full of garbage? Is it compacted cubes? Is it tons, right? They're talking about tons of waste. So I'm going to say If we're doing M for months, maybe T for tons. Okay. Each month it accumulates an average of 420 more tons of waste. So my tons of waste is, how much do you start with?
No, 50,000.
Remember, we start with 50,000. There's already that much there. I'm going to take that 50,000 and every month we add 420 more tons. And they specifically said M for months. So I need to use M for months because that's the way they defined it. Yeah.
I just did 420 times M plus 50.
Okay, when you say plus, do you mean that
Yeah.
or do you mean that?
Before the parentheses.
Okay, because the parentheses definitely change the meaning of it. Well, remember, every time I run into a plus or minus, it's a new term. Don't I still have the same two terms? Addition's commutative. 5 plus 2 is 2 plus 5. So that's perfectly legal. You can do that, yes. In fact, isn't that one of the linear forms we wrote down before? Rate x plus start. If I have a linear model, that's a great place to go. Yes. Okay, so either blue or green, they're both going to be right. Either one's good. And that's it. We don't have to do anything with it. They're just saying, can you write the rule? Yes or no? So, all right. You have the stage, you got the mosh pit, you got nosebleed section. Concert seating plan as shown. Reserved seating is sold out. That's going to be important. So all the green stuff up front, sold out. Total, oh, anyone who ever watches the videos, if I ever make a reference to a specific color, y'all know that it's backwards, right? Like this board is not inverted on the video right now. It's regular. So when I say the green section, this is actually like purplish blue on the screen right now. So if you've ever had to watch that. So anyway, that part is sold out. And total revenue from ticket sales will depend on the number of general seating tickets sold. So the mosh pit is sold out. The nosebleed section depends how many, right? Write a function rule to represent the situation. What's the maximum possible total revenue? So, what are the things we're talking about? Seats and money. How much the revenue is, right? So, first things first, define your variables.
Seats.
Okay? My number of seats that I sell is my independent. Now I can use X, I can use S. You know what? I'm actually just going to switch to X this time because S's look like 5s, right? So seats, revenue, money. However many seats I sell determines how much money I'm going to make. So the money that I make will be, this is linear again, how much am I starting with? I am guaranteed to make this much money. They were sold out, right? 10 rows, 12 seats a row is 120 seats at $25 a piece. 3,000? So we've already sold $3,000 worth of seats. Sold out, done. I know I have that. Then I've got, well, if X is seats, what's my rate per seat? $10. There you go. That's my rule. But again, if you need to make some kind of big note across there, highlighter, scribble in, y'all, if you don't tell me what your variables mean, it's going to cost you. Okay, you have to tell me what the variables mean. Otherwise, this could be anything. This could be y equals 10 times the number of shrunken heads plus 3,000 voodoo deaths. I don't know. Like, just, who knows what this means unless you tell me what it means. Okay? So $10 a seat, write a function rule, check. What is the maximum revenue? How many of those $10 seats do we have? Which is 480. So, if you want to know what the maximum is, sell out all 480 of your seats. Okay? So this is 4,800 plus 3,000 is 7,800. Any of you gone to a decent sized concert? Not like the lame concerts where it is just $25 to get in kind of thing, but like 120, 200, $300 a ticket kind of concerts. Gross. I heard they were coming. I've heard of people who go to see just the warm-up act and then they leave for the second one. Yeah. So, I suppose around here, there's always, how many concerts at Sturgis, you at least get that opportunity. But then you gotta be around some interesting people. So, there's an example. Can you repeat the example? Can you do it again?
No, probably not.
I think you can.
I'm blind.
Okay. Probably. Or at least starting in it. Mm.
So is y equals mx plus b the same thing as y equals rate plus start?
Yes, rate x plus start and mx plus b are the same thing. They're just words versus variables.
That's all for linear equations.
Yep. You know that chemical stimulants have the exact opposite effect on anyone who is neurodivergent, particularly ADHD.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's why we have them. Yes.
So it makes us like not sorry. Makes it
Yes. But I'm finally going to go get checked for ADHD meds next week because I go wee because my brain is looking for stimulus. But if you have a chemical stimulant, it gives that part of your brain what it needs, so it calms the crap down, and you're not looking for stimulation. You have the chemical stimulation you need, so you're able to focus on what's happening.
I did a psychologist we did testing with my psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty high for ADHD, I wasn't high. They said it can develop more.
Yeah, and what they don't tell you is that it depends on how much you mask your behavior to fit in with the neurotypicals. Hi. Kennel charges $15 a day. Board dogs upon around. Where did 10 come from?
10 days.
I don't know. That's not a rate, though.
Oh.
It's just like the concert one.
So,
Here's
would
your
you
rate.
want-
You're going to plug in a 10. Just like here, we had a rate, and then we plugged in the 480. There's your rate, and it even says per with it.
True.
So you're going to start there, and then plug in the 10.
10 times 15.
It's like Bible. It's like kind of more direct.
Go bird, okay? So then we have to write the...
So you write the equation first, then plug the number in.
X and Y. X would be the
Okay. What are the two things we're talking about? Money and days. Time is involved. That's probably, okay, so days. Do you want to use D for days, or do you just want to be lame and use X?
It says X, doesn't it?
Up here it tells me total cost for N days of boarding. So it told me to use N. So I know that that's my independent variable. What depends on the days? The monies. About that money. Okay. So what? Revenue, cost, money. It says it in the problem. Cost. Does it give me a variable for the cost? No. So if they're saying N is number of days, maybe just say C for cost. You can put whatever you want, as long as you label it. Okay, so I've labeled, I know what they mean. This is linear again, so rate X plus start. How much do I start with? The cost is going to be at least this, 12 bucks. And I'm going to add the 12 because it's not like they have to get a flea bath, so 12 bucks off. Okay, it doesn't work that way. And then my rate, 15 bucks, right? So there you go. There's your equation. And it says, how much does a 10-day stay cost? There we go, words. So my cost is going to be 15 bucks times 10 days plus 12. Or 150 plus 12, 162 bucks. Okay? Which, if you've ever had to actually do a dog boarding, going on a trip or something like that, that's more like a day. Okay? That is more like a day. So, normally, right about meow, I would come along and say, let's tell me how you're feeling about it. But since this is word problems, I know we need the practice. Both. We need the practice with words. Words are hard. Okay, let's try them both. Again, argue it out with your neighbors. See if you end up in the same place.
Struggling massively.
Okay. Get yoink. Watch out. So, a plumber going to charge $60 for a service call, so to even get out to your house, plus $55 for every hour she works. Write a function for the total bill. As soon as I hear the word total, that should be important to me, for a plumbing job. So before I can answer the question, I need to take care of the function stuff. So you tell me our two things.
The total.
Total waffles, total the bill, right? My total bill depends on how many, what?
Hours.
So write that. So maybe you put, does it tell me which variables to use? No, I don't see it anywhere. So I can just say X is hours and Y is my bill. Okay, so linear again. My bill will be, how much do you get charged no matter what?
$60.
Okay, so that's my start. And then my rate.
$55.
There you go. $55 per hour. Then, now go find out for 3 hours. Okay? This is set up the same way. Tell me, what controls what?
Oh, so that would be y equals 55, 3 plus 60.
Yes! And then, do it again. Y is, what's my rate, X, plus, what's my start?
Okay.
Okay, try again.
Okay.
Give it.
I'm curious. So, I'm gonna remember because I have a question on it.
Okay.
So is it saying you buy one ticket and then on that one ticket for each order you buy, it's $10? Or I don't really understand what it's asking.
Okay.
Or
So
is it
you ask.
45x plus 10? For each ticket's $10, but it's not. Plus 8.
Okay. So should your bill go up for the number of tickets, or like you're hitting on the crux of it is I wrote it this way, but that doesn't make sense because you have to pay for every ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Got them swapped because it says for each order
So
as opposed to for the tickets.
each ticket's $45.
Do you know how many tickets you're getting?
Well, they're
Not yet.
asking. Okay. Okay. Yeah, one for myself.
Okay.
I'm getting one ticket for myself. That's plus $10 because there's that
Yes.
processing fee.
So
Two would be
could
20.
no. It says for each order you're $10. So I could order like 16 tickets.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then
So
$10 processing fee.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
So the 10 is the constant.
Yeah, I think there's just.
Yeah. They worded it a little bit goofy, and that's why we're practicing.
Hi.
Come on now.
Brain no work.
Brain no work. Variables.
Yeah.
Okay. Plumber gonna charge $60 for a service call. So to even show up at your house, they charge you. And then $55 per hour that she's working. So write a function for the total bill for a plumbing job. So does my bill depend on how many hours she works, or does how many hours she works depend on what my bill was.
The bill depends on the hours.
Right? I don't say, all right, here's the deal. You're going to pay me $300 and I'm just going to come and work for, oh, no, I'm done. Or is it, I'm going to work until it's done, then you get the bill. Right? So X is my hours. And Y is my bill.
I applaud you for writing upside down.
Been doing this a long time. Okay. So Y equals rate X plus start. How much do you pay no matter what? Start. $60. What's the rate? It's usually next to that each or per, right? $55. Ta-da, there's your equation.
Cool. Yay.
Now, where does 3 go?
X. Yeah,
Right? It says 3 hours. Hours is X. That's why we write it, though. That's why I'm having you do this step. Because now you say
He knows that.
3.
I don't.
Well, then listen to him.
I do. It doesn't make any more sense than me listening to you. Okay.
Okay.
Is that right?
Close. I want you to talk to Amy.
But okay, so I overheard.
Okay. Okay.
And then I switched them, and then I overheard there, and then I switched them back.
That's because we were on a different problem. Okay. Are you paying per ticket?
So no. Wait.
Right?
Yes. Wait. I don't. What?
It's kind of like this processing fee. Think of it like shipping. You got to pay $25 for shipping.
Oh.
I don't care whether you're putting 90 things in the box or 9 things in the box. You're paying for shipping.
So that would be 10.
Other way around. It's $45 per ticket. And I can get 1 ticket in an order, and they're going to charge me $10. Or I can get 12 tickets in an order, and they're going to charge me $10. The processing fee is what you have to pay no matter how many tickets you get. So this is right. We just got to swap those two.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Sounds like most of us are there. Here we go. These are all of the form. Tell me what my variables are. And they're linear. So find rate X plus start. For contestant number 1, what are the 2 things we're talking about? Money and hours. Does hours depend on money, or does money depend on hours? Right? Does your bill depend on how much they worked, or does how much they work depend on your bill? Like, it can't be like, all right. Yo, plumber chick, here's how this works. I'm going to give you $300. I want you to work. And she's like, okay, $300 gets you this long, and then stops. Okay. It doesn't work that way, right? You pay them to come do the job, and she fixes your broken water heater or whatever it is, and then you get the bill, right?
What if you pay like per hour? Like say if you like work and then like it's not like you know the amount of money before, but you just work a certain amount, but you know how much money you're making an hour. If that makes sense.
That's exactly what this is.
Oh,
I don't know the total.
oh, okay.
The thing you don't know until the job is done is the total. I don't know the total bill. But my total bill depends on how many hours she worked. So, now you go for the rate and the start. How much do you get charged no matter what? Okay. So that's $60 to even come to your house, to set up the form, to grab the tool bags and walk in the house. They're going to charge you $60 just to show up. After that, what's my rate? 55, right? There you go. And then ask, what's the total bill for a job that takes 3 hours? 55 by 3. Or 165 plus 60 is 225 bucks. Y'all, this is actually, like, that's about right for a local, not big name branded contract. Like, this is just the guy who has his own van and does handy jobs around the town, right? This is about right for that kind of independent contractor. Now, if you're going with someone who's a little bit bigger name, like what are some of the vans I see around town? Like Wolf Plumbing, Porterfield Electric, they're right outside of Bell. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more than that. Might be more like 70 bucks an hour. 80. Okay. The Wi-Fi companies, that's dependent on the contract from the main company. So those might be a little bit different because that's all terms of your contract. I'm talking about just my water heater's spraying stuff everywhere. Someone come help. Yes. HVAC technicians, all that kind of stuff. Yes, they do. I tell kids every year, I'm the math teacher, and I will tell you, if you are not planning on going to a 4-year university, go into Western Dakota Tech, an 18-month certificate program that doesn't require generals like college algebra. You do that, and make more money than I ever will. I'm a teacher in South Dakota. Okay. All right, next up. Tickets to the concert cost $45 per ticket plus $10 processing fee for each order. The second one was confusing because they had the word per and each. So which one is actually the variable? Because they said per and each. Usually those are my keywords that mean this is my rate. Okay. It says plus this. Okay, that's a big part. Look at the two things they're talking about, per ticket and for each order. The catch is what they told us to find. Write a function rule for the total cost of ordering tickets. They told me what my variables are. My variables are X tickets and Y is the total cost. So if X is going to be my tickets, then the rate that goes with the tickets needs to be rate for the tickets. That $10 is the processing fee on the entire order. Think of it like, I can order 2 tickets. Just me and my wife are going to go to this concert, and that's it. 2 tickets. Maybe it's one of the orchestra lightsaber performances, and I'm taking all of Game Club. I'm going to do 30 tickets. It's still a $10 processing fee. You ever seen those where it's like orchestral music and then they have actual choreographed lightsaber battles? It's so cool. So, the $10 is for the entire order. You're paying that whether you have 1 ticket or 20 tickets. It's the $40 to $5 per ticket. And Amy had a really good question about that. We wrote it instead as 10 and then 45 and said, well, wait a second. It costs more for every ticket that I'm buying. And that was the catch. When you have that, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. That's good. We're telling ourselves to double check our work as we're going through it. Checking for reasonableness of answer is a really critical skill. And then it said, How many tickets we doing? 6. So 390, 20 cents, 280. That's it. Words. So far, all of these have been linear. When it's nonlinear, those are tough. I'll have kids up in Algebra 2 who still struggle with this. So we got to lock it in for this part. Write a function rule for the area of a rectangle whose length is 5 more feet than its width. Get used to this moving in through high school. When in doubt, draw it out. They said something about a rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle. So I can at least start wrapping my head around this. It says its length is 5 feet more than its width. Remember, I have to write the function rule before I can answer this question. This does not exist yet. To write the rule, do I know what the width is? No. So what do you want to put? It's so generic. It's so pumpkin spice. All right, fine, we'll do X. All right. You know, what we actually prefer to do, if at all possible, use a variable that matches what you're talking about so it cues you into what it means. W is the width. So if the length is 5 feet more than the width, what can I put for the length now? What's 5 feet more than?
Plus 5.
Just plus 5? There you go. 5 feet more than the width. So I need width plus 5. Okay, cool. I got a rectangle. What function was I supposed to be doing? I just got a random rectangle. And area is normally length times width. So I'm going to write area is length W plus 5 times width. I'm going to replace the things that I know. The function rule for area. Area is length times width. I now know that my length is 5 more than my width. Plug them in. Now you do want to clean it up. What does it mean when you got something smashed up on those parentheses? Multiply. Okay. Think about it like this. Okay. What I always remembered is what Mr. Devo Larson told me all those years ago. When you see anything smashed up against something else, like rabbits and hormonal teenagers, they are multiplying. Okay? You got a 5 or a W all hugged up on that parenthesis. Okay? There you go, snowball. So I need to turn that into W squared plus 5W. Okay? So just distribute to clean it up. That's it. Now that I have my rule, you have to do the rule first. Now that I've got the rule, answer the question. What is the area of a rectangle when its width is 9 feet? So now my area is going to be 9 squared plus 5 by 9. What do you think, Preston?
What do I think about what?
Purple.
The purple?
Purple.
It'd be 81 plus 45, so roughly. That's up. Take the. it's 128. No, 26. 126.
Which is it?
126.
Y'all, you're in a math class. Make sure you got a calculator with you.
I don't use
I would also strongly recommend that you get used to using either a scientific calculator that you personally own or one of the bumblebees over there, because you can't use your phone as a calculator on test. Get used to the tool that you have to use on the test. Okay? Yes. 8145 is 126. How many times have you gotten that one off, dinged, on a problem because 126 what? It's area. Area is squared. Volume is cubed. Regular old length is just feet. Okay. When in doubt, write it out. Do you remember for 3A, do you remember what the formula is for area of a triangle?
That's it.
That's for any triangle.
Wait, was that right?
Yes. Because remember that the height can still be outside of a triangle, can still be inside of a triangle. If you don't know, you were all issued, or at least had the chance to get, a AlgHalf book, and in the back there's that miracle sheet that has all my formulas. And if you don't know, then Google area of a triangle, write the formula, plug stuff in, go. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah. It's open everything.
Is it
Open book, open notes, open everything on all my stuff.
not open to friends?
Well, there's social commentary to be applied here, but yes.
For this one, what's the X? Or do we not have to do that?
There wasn't, but in that case, okay, good question on the last one. My area depended on my width. Right? The wider the rectangle got, the bigger the area was. So in this case, do the same thing. Good call, good call. The freshman did barely. You had like a week left of the semester.
Okay, well, we were tried, okay?
Yeah, you need to like start messing up more.
Call it.
I did. Look at that. See that little.
Okay.
That line?
It wasn't a mathematical error, it was a procedural error, but it was one that matters. I'll give that one to you. Procedural error. I said to define the variables and I didn't. Yeah. All right, I'll give that one to you. But, yeah? I will negotiate with the cook.
Okay. And then we can all sleep. But we should like keep our points at there because Dad is rich.
How about we do the problem? Problem. Do the problem. You're getting the assignment regardless of how far we get. So maybe we want to do this.
No biggie. What if we beat?
That's just a probability matrix, not based on decisions. You come beat me in a game of Magic, any format that you decide.
I know how to play. Like the card one, half the game. Yeah, I played it with my brother. What's that board game? I'm really good at this game. It's like the.
Do the problem. Stop avoiding.
How to do problems that don't matter.
It's about a triangle. You should draw a triangle. Cool. Function for area of a triangle. Do you know area of a triangle? Does Siri know?
Yeah, but I don't know if one else like,
1/2 base times height. Because it's half of a quadrilateral. Okay? And it says, find the area of a triangle whose height is 4 inches more than twice the length of its base. Do I know what the base is?
you just know that it's more than.
So they're telling me junk about the height. The height is. They don't tell me what the base is. So I'll just put B for base. Okay. Height is. Height is 4 inches more than.
Then twice the length of its base.
But what do I do with 4 more than?
Put it at the end.
Yep, so I'll add 4 over here. Yeah, get over here. Okay, 4 more than twice the length of the base.
So that's area equals 1/2 of base times height.
So I got the 4 more than taken care of. What is twice the length of the base? Do I know what the base is right now? What do I have for the base?
It's twice.
That's it. So what's twice that?
2b.
That's it.
And that's
There you go.
your area.
Height. Height is 4 more than twice the base. So now take this and this. Plug them in.
What?
The height is this stuff. Replace H with this stuff.
Oh, so area equals.
Okay.
And then that's. Oh, what? You add that in there. So I do.
So if H is this stuff, replace H with this stuff.
So how would I write that?
Well, what are B and H doing right now?
Oh, so I just put 2 plus 4. That.
Very close.
Parentheses.
Parentheses. There you go. You're replacing H with all that junk.
So there's 2 B's in that.
Yes.
Why is there 2 B's?
Because you'll have to distribute just like we did with the rectangle problem.
I don't like this. This is.
See?
I didn't understand that.
Nonlinear is tougher. That's why we're going to practice it. Distribute. Distribute. Yeah.
Would this be? Sorry, you mister. Would this be 16 inches?
No.
But it says length.
The question at the end is after you write the function rule.
But I'm writing the function rule.
No, you don't know that yet.
This isn't.
Yeah,
this
I
is
do.
next. You do this next. You aren't on this yet. That's not even.
Yeah,
there.
I am.
No, you're not. You don't. That's not the function rules. What about this? You don't have anything.
You have to get this. You have to get the equation first.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Then you plug in stuff.
I'm not doing good.
But I only have the height. That's not in the equation. So
That's the point. We're replacing stuff. Sweet Jeebus. Here we go. All right. What am I talking about? A triangle. Draw a triangle. It's got a little tilt to the end. It looks more like Gandalf's hat. Okay. It says the area of a triangle. If okay. Okay, 1/2 base times height, or length times width divided by 2. Same thing, right? Okay. Area of a triangle. Check. Area of a triangle, draw a triangle. Gotcha. Height. It says the height is. Height is. Height is. 4 inches more than. So I'm going to add 4 onto something. Is 4 inches more than what? Twice the base. Do I know what the base is right now? So I'll just put B for base. So if it's 4 inches more than twice the base. Twice the base. That's it. Okay. Y'all. Height is yeah, we got a seating chart next time. Height is. We did this first semester. 4 more than tells me I add 4 onto a thing. Twice means I'm going to take 2 times a thing. The base. We've done this before. Now, that is more irritating because the sentence wrapped around. That makes it tougher. If I know that here's the base, and I know that here's the height, I can replace. I can now say that my area is 1/2 base times, no longer h, 2b plus 4. And then disturb it. What's 1/2 of 2? B times b. B squared. Half of 4. Half of 4? Okay. 2 plus b. Well, not plus b. So it's 2 times b. It's 2b. There you go. You got a formula. Now that you have the formula, not before, says what is area when the base is 16 inches. Now I can say that my area is, get back over it. Plug in 16, 256 plus 32 is 288. Inches? Yeah. 256 and 32, right? Yeah, that's 288. Ruh-roh. We need practice with that. Okay, right below that it says graph it. We did nonlinear graphs last Tuesday. If I now have the base affects the area. Make a table. If the base is this, the area is that. Okay. So if the base was 0, clearly this is not going to do very much. Plus 2 by 0. But if the base is 1, so you can do this in calculator if you want, over and over and over, or save yourself some time. No, negative length is not possible. Unless I'm insulting someone, I can't say that they're negative 4 feet tall. Okay? So,
is like the X and Y just like length and then area again?
base length and area, yes.
All three?
No, the base length. Length of base. Area. Right? Instead of X, Y, it's base and area. Okay. Plug in your values. If I got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like Abe said, no, we cannot have a base length of negative 2. So plug in 0, there is no triangle. Plug in 1, I got 3. Plug in 2. Y'all got a calculator, figure it out. Is it? Prove it. Okay. Use the calculator. Plug in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait, that last one's wrong. 5, 7, 9. That was 24. And then 36. Right? 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. 35. Don't do mental math when you're sleep deprived. Yeah. Definitely switching the charts. Okay. Plot your points. Label your axes. My x-axis is the base. All about that base. Perfectly fine going by ones. But this is going to get out of hand pretty quick. The area, oh, this was in feet, right? Was it feet or inches? So my area will be in square inches. I know I need to go up to at least 35. So maybe count by, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Plot your points. 0, 0, 1, 3, 2, 8, 3, 15, 4, 24, 5, 35, and you should see a curve to it. They ask, is it linear or nonlinear? Well, that was section 4.3, linear and nonlinear. Graphing nonlinear functions was the end of section 4. Okay, it's all stuff we did. Should be fair game. Oh boy, we need help writing that equation again. We're going to try that again. So, we got a spot. Do we got a spot? We ain't ready for 4-6. Let's find a corner. Let's make something up here. Okay. We'll do volume. Find a margin. Y'all dealt with cylinders, cones, pyramids, all that kind of stuff back in middle school. So, whether you're looking in the back of your book or you're getting your Google action on, what is volume of a cylinder? Okay. A cylinder I will withhold comment about the educational practice that you just described. If I have a cylinder, a cylinder will have volume. That is pi r squared h. Your radius is here. Your height is here. Okay.
Can you just like write it in?
Tell you what, if you need to go over to 4.6, our definitions shouldn't take too much room. You probably have room right here. Okay? Our definitions shouldn't take too much space. If you need to put an over on this half of that slide, that'd be a good place for it. Okay. Write the formula for volume of a cylinder whose height is twice the radius of the base. Until I get to the question part, I don't know what either of those are, but they give me a relationship whose height is twice the radius of the base. 2r. There you go. So if the height is twice the radius, then I should be able to replace things. My volume is pi times r squared times, it's no longer h, now it's 2r.
So it's same exact thing twice. So couldn't we just put 4 on?
Not 4r. Simplify this. How many r's you got up there?
3.
Right? Little invisible 1 right there. Isn't r squared r times r? And there's another r now. So pi r cubed. And then I got that 2, so I'll just sneak it out front because that's the proper place for it.
Why is there that R raised? Is that an R or one?
That's a 1. There's r to the first. There's a little invisible 1 right there. If I were to write this out longhand, this is pi times r times 2 times r. So altogether I have 2 pi r cubed. And then it says, find the volume of a cylinder whose base is 8 inches wide. Ew, use the pi button. Yes, because if it's 8 inches wide, that's the diameter. The radius is half of that. Divide by dose, yes. This is going to be, volume is 2 pi 4 cubed. So it's 128 pi, and then y'all should have a pi button somewhere on a calculator. Usually it's in a secondary feature if you're on a scientific. Like if you're on the bumblebees, it's right here above the caret.
How do you get to that?
Second. Pi. Okay. Is there a who what? Is there a hole in the corner?
No, is that like a... What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
That's the nether portal in the corner. Top right corner, nether portal.
Yeah, that's literally everyone else probably thinks the same. No.
Down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, right there.
Nether portal.
A decked out nether portal.
Like bubbles start coming out of it. I'm serious. Like,
It's a battery.
It looks like a nether portal, actually.
It's literally the battery icon for the calculator.
are you a gamer? Where's your creativity?
I have not allowed myself to have a console or PC game for 11 years.
Why?
Because I fixate on them.
Fortnite?
No.
You need to not talk, please. Fortnite is not.
I fixate on them. I don't do any of my work and I don't spend time with my family if I play video games. So I don't allow myself to play video games. So, anyway, I got pi. Pi. 4. Where's cubed?
The purple button. No. What? That's alpha. It might be purple.
Is it? Don't you do the little?
I have to use the caret to say exponent 3.
You're dumb.
I literally got it.
Okay.
I mean,
Ew, that's an ugly number.
I literally got it.
So it is 128 pi or approximately 402 and change. Approximately looks like a equal sign that got beat up. It's wavy. Okay. Oof. Okay, we're gonna have to work on that. Please, y'all, don't be the kid that sees the problem. It's got words, so I quit. Because I guarantee you, this is your daily quiz on Wednesday. This is on your quiz right before conferences. This is stuff that you need to do for the rest of your mathematical career. If we need to take a day out after this to do it again and practice, we will. But that's not going to happen if you don't communicate with me. If in the next 46.5 hours, I've only got one kid who's willing to ask a question, I'm going to assume that you're all good with it. So, make sure you're asking.